Yeah.
Okay, it's Thursday, November 9th, and it's 4:27. And this is the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority Finance Committee meeting, and we call that to order and start with business items. And business items 1A with the September 2023 financials. Patty, would you give us a rundown on that, please?
If we start with the statement of financial position, you will notice that our accounts receivable regular are at 287,000. 95% of that open AR is either current or 1 to 30 days. Our AEAS is at 887. That's 2 months worth. We are down right now to being current with our AES payments and reimbursements. Our accounts payable at the other end of the page, our regular is at 319. Our AEAS is just the 1 month. Our New York State retirement, we do have an estimate on it. I just received an email today that we can pull down the actual invoice for 2023. It looks like it will be approximately $220,000. And then our project AP is at 1.5 million, spread over our Chrissy grant, our revitalization project, and our work at the port with the dock wall expansion. If we look on the second page, we have our restricted bank accounts listed. Our top 4 projects are there. And you'll notice the airport revitalization is now starting to incur costs. And the drainage and terminal area is, I believe that's on hold for the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't see anything more or much more until spring on that one. And our regular accounts payable, we have also paid our last 2 vendors there. We've paid them what is listed here. So we're current with them, although we know that both will continue to bill us every month. Any questions on the financial position?
I'm good, Sam. No good.
I'm good, yep.
If we look at our budget to actual, our income, except for our fuel sales, and we know we did budget that quite high based on last year's actual, but whatever we don't bring in sales, we don't have to pay out in the expense side. So it doesn't really hurt us as much. Everything else is, we're doing better than budgeted for our revenue. Our expenses, the bridge maintenance expense is under budget by approximately 60,000. The load 1 rating inspection has not been done, and we budgeted for that, so that's why that is so much under budget. Our general expenses, we're just deferring a lot of what we don't absolutely need to do. Our airport expenses, you'll notice the corresponding reduction in fuel sale expense. Our general expenses, our interest expense on the airport is down 22,000. We assumed additional interest for the revitalization line of credit. We haven't yet had to use it, so there is no expense on it. The industrial park expense, the utilities are well under budget. The OBPA assumes no tenant payment, so we're assuming utilities at full. Our tenants do reimburse us for their portion, which brings down the expense. And if we look at the marine terminal, everything is pretty much what we had been discussing all along. Our interest expense with the marine terminal is under budget for the same reason. We anticipated using a line of credit for the dock wall expansion, which we haven't yet had to use. Are there any questions on the budget to actual?
I don't have any. Everything looks to be pretty much as you would report to me. Sam?
Actually, we're a little bit ahead of where we thought we would be.
Right.
At this time of the year.
Yes. A lot of that has to do with being able to defer things. And if we look at our cash flow from September through February, I did a deep dive into a lot of these items, having looked back at what we've done for the 6 months and have been able to adjust some of these. Hopefully, we can keep these at a lower expense level so that we do actually end September and October with a positive before we go into November and start into the negative. And you'll notice whatever we have on the grant, the OBPA grant portion and capital expense, whatever we spend in September, we get the reimbursement portion in October. And so that is always 1 month off from the expense to the reimbursement.
January is where we take the real hit on the debt expense.
January and July. January, we pay the interest portion of the bond, and then July, we pay the interest and principal. Any questions?
Has it been historical that we dropped that much in revenue in December?
Or what do you think they're?
Well, from November to December, we're dropping $500,000 in revenue.
Yeah, I think things taper off. I think we budgeted longer for income than we paid for on the port, for example. We wrapped up a lot of things right now and gotten revenue for that. And I think what happens is everything slows as far as project stuff goes. And then also bridge revenue, dies right around that. We get a little bit in the holidays, but it's pretty spare.
Well, you'll also notice that in November, we expect approximately $600,000 in reimbursements, where in December, we only have $40,000. So that is a big chunk. And basing our AEAS on the pattern from last year, from November to December, we were down almost $25,000 in AEAS expense or income.
Okay.
And that's because
They didn't fly.
Right. Good.
I know one of the things I like to watch is the fact that we continue to pay our people, our vendors, our people that we pay by, we're keeping up with that, and that's a important thing we're doing, so we've been able to, very happy that we've been able to do that, continue to keep up, so. It's kind of it's kind of emulating what Sam said. We're actually a little bit ahead of what we thought, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're putting things off a little, but we're not at the point we were 3 years ago.
Oh, nowhere near. No, not even. Yeah, if that's of any value. We're better off than we were.
It's all relative.
Yeah, no, but you make a good point that, we really tightened up those things, partly because of the way Patty's been, and kind of, we're looking at all this stuff, especially this cash thing.
Right,
This sheet's really important.
yes.
And you notice if you go back and look, for lack of a better, it hasn't, it's above where we thought we'd be. And you just can't keep hoping that it'll turn out not to be as, we'll work through everything that, we've made some headway as opposed to what we were looking at at the beginning. And that's all with everyday decisions that we're making.
Right.
And we've been lucky, we've had, the salt came in early,
Right.
so that's done a little bit,
Transformers.
and the transformers were a gift.
Yeah.
So we've had a little bit of padding where we thought we would be in a deep lull.
Very good. Anything else?
No,
Okay.
include what I.
All right. Other such matters? Anything? Anybody else? Anything, Sam? All good?
All good.
If that's the case, I would,
I'll move that we adjourn.
thank you so much. I'll second that. Oh, do you have something
Yeah.
Well,
before we
well, I'll
finish?
tell you at the board meeting also, but we got a letter from the IRS today indicating that we passed our audit.
Good.
The reason that we were audited was the federal IRS Form 8038 was submitted late and was improperly filled out by the bond attorney. And that's what triggered the audit. They told me that at the end.
Isn't that what bond attorneys do?
But we are clear, we have a clear.
How do you do it next time?
Good, that's
All
good.
I
right,
have
so,
nothing else.
all right, so with that, we've got a.
Again, I made the motion to adjourn.
So, all those in favor? say
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.